So I'm with Dave Johnson here at the food cupboard at the United Methodist Church in Belfast, and it's a busy day today. How often is this place as active as it is right now?
We do food giveaways every 2 weeks, every other week, on Fridays from 9 to 11:30.
Okay. And the people who come here, what kind of a process do you have to go through? Do you have to show them your tax records and or things like that, or
No.
is it hard to come and get food?
Well, there is a form that the government requires that asks folks to come and put down how many members of the family. They don't worry about the income anymore. They used to, but we don't. Our purpose here is to give out food.
Right. I'm thinking that I personally have had some times when I didn't, didn't have any money, and I was trying to figure out how to do stuff, and
right.
it'd be kind of embarrassing in a way, but you need to try to figure out how to make things work. I imagine you're trying to do this in such a way that it doesn't feel like you're people would be embarrassed to come here.
Well, we can't eliminate that.
Right.
There are people who do feel embarrassed, a little bit of shame. I had one woman who had 7 kids, and she waited months before she had the guts to come. She just figured other people need it more than she does, and she had 7 kids and no single mom, and I was glad that she finally came.
Are you working here and you're the manager? How long have you been involved, and what got you involved?
Well, I first joined the board and was the representative from one of the churches. We have 7 or 8 churches that participate in this particular food cupboard. There are others.
What do you mean by participate? Does it mean like members of the church volunteer, or what is it?
Yeah, there's a schedule of days that we're going to give out, and then each church has a volunteer. There's a schedule of when each church is to come and help, and each church provides, like today there's maybe 6 people from the St. Francis Church who are here to help.
Oh, okay.
And it changes each time we do a giveaway.
So anyway, you got involved, and then now you're the manager. How did that happen?
Oh, that was, Sue and Russell Wing were managing the food cupboard for years, and they retired recently. Actually, Sue passed away recently. We had a dinner for them, thanking them for their contribution, and then I took over when they retired. I went from being a board member to managing the place, and I love it. I get to meet people that I otherwise would not meet who live in my community. They're my neighbors, and I like getting to know them, and we try to make this as friendly an environment as we can so that whatever guilt they may feel or shame they may feel, embarrassment, it goes away when they get here and they realize that it's okay.
I need to say that I also volunteer. I'm not a manager, but I once a month there's Pantry Day at the Northport Food Pantry, and I'm sort of connected to Northport. And one thing notice, a small difference I noticed, is that we're always giving food out in cardboard boxes, but you've got these colorful Hannaford bags. That's pretty. It looks very festive for this being around Thanksgiving that we're doing this.
Well, we're beginning the process of trying to eliminate plastic from our process, and we're doing okay. And this is one of the attempts at giving each client a bag that they can recycle. And we're encouraging them to bring it back. Some are very good about it, very diligent about bringing a recyclable bag. So we're starting. This is the first day that we've given out these Hannaford bags. And we're going to see how it works, see how the experiment works.
That's great. Well, so typically, what does one get when one comes here? I noticed that there's not just food, but I noticed that there's. Oh, he's bringing over a prop.
Yeah, your typical giveaway
Here, let me get
is
over here so you can show.
somewhere between 10 and 13 items. And it's a variety of things from each food group. One of the things that is difficult in this business of giving out food is you sort of have to deal with what's available. Companies are very generous about giving product, but we don't always get the same thing all the time. So we try to give them a mix. Hannaford contributes meat, and there's a few other organizations that donate on a regular basis. But there is an outfit called the Good Shepherd Food Bank, and they are the main hub and warehouse for this process.
The involvement, it's not just today, but obviously someone has to pack all this stuff. Does the food just magically show up? It needs to be unpacked. How much, if you're looking for volunteers, it's not just on a day like today, right? Tell me a little bit about your volunteer needs, because I'm kind of hoping that as we show this around Thanksgiving, that someone may want to feel like, getting involved.
Oh yeah, there's no shortage of people that want to help here as their form of giving back, and we welcome those
And
people.
what can they do? What can they help with?
Well, there's about 50 hours a month that goes into preparing for each month's giveaway. The giveaway is only 2 days, but the hours that it takes to prepare, to pick up the food in Auburn, Augusta, Hamden, bringing it here, unpacking it. As you can see, we warehouse the goods and trying to just keep that cycle going. It takes a few volunteers and a few hours each month.
So typically, how many people come here on the twice a month?
The average is 150 to 180 people.
And are
Maybe
they?
100 families, but we have over 500 people signed up. But they all don't come at the same time. They all don't need extra food. But let's face it, we've all hit on tough times. You mentioned it yourself. And so we're here, and we're not really policing the process so much that someone can't get food. If you need food, we're here.
You mentioned, of the 100 and some families. You mentioned that you get information on where they come from. Do they all come from Belfast, or do they? Because I have the impression that, at least at the Northport Pantry, that we get people from Belfast and from Morrill. Some of these people, they pretty much rely on, because one box of food isn't going to get you through 4 months, so they go to several of these pantries in the various towns. Is that what you notice here?
There used to be a limit as to how often people could come here and get food, but there's no longer a limit. If somebody needs to come both days, 3 days a month, that's fine. We also do, if someone calls and they desperately need food, like sometimes they're homeless or they just found a room at a hotel or something and they have no way of preparing food. So they'll call, I'll get the message, and I'll bring them some food that they can eat right out of the can or right out of the jar.
Wow, so you sort of do emergency delivery, you personally, Dave?
Any chance that I can. I'm not here every day, but I'll come in and the first thing I'll do is check the messages, and if somebody needs food, I take it to them.
So I notice in Northport that if you were to say the age of people, there's a lot of older people, I notice, if you were to say, but maybe that's the way our community is. What's your sense of the ages? I mean, I do see some young people, but predominantly it's like older people.
My assessment is it's about the same diversity as our community itself.
Oh.
This is an older community, so percentage-wise, yeah, we probably get more retired folks than not, but we have a cross-section. I mean, I just handed a book to a 5-year-old kid who comes here every week, and he loves coming here. And we have kids' books, and so he gets a book every time he comes.
Now, I mentioned that, like, you, besides giving away food, give away other things like toilet paper and stuff. Is that like another organization like that
Yes.
works with you? Tell me about that.
There's a group of women that started an outfit called the Soap Closet, and that's what they do. They accumulate, out of the generosity of various companies, they accumulate product that we put in a bag, and we give them the soap closet material as well as the food cupboard material.
And what's in those bags
Oh,
typically?
you might find toilet paper, shampoo, dishwashing liquid, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, those kinds of things.
All the things that people need, but it's not technically a food pantry type of thing. But it's nice that there's sort of a clearinghouse, so you don't have to go to the various places and things like that. Have you? Do you run low on food? Do you have an ample supply? Do you need food donations?
This community is very generous. The post office does a food drive once a year, and we accumulate, thanks to the generosity of people in this town, we accumulate enough food for 2 or 3 giveaways on those occasions. And then the United Way does a food drive. Oh, and there's another one.
But generally, you don't run out of food when people come. You're not like, you know how when it's the Red Cross is always saying, we have an emergency blood drive, we're running low on blood. Do you run low on food?
So far, even during the winter, the storms we've had the last few years, we've been able to get food and get it to people.
That's great. So the thing that surprised me was when I was talking to you about how this might be worthwhile putting on TV. You weren't, and I said you might be able to get volunteers, and you said to me, well, actually, we're not as in need of volunteers as we want to get the word out to people who might feel like they need food, that you're looking for customers, essentially.
Absolutely. If people see this, or if you're watching this and you know somebody who needs food, please encourage them to come over. Like I said, there's no guidelines or stipulations or income requirements. It's, if you need food, we've got some. It doesn't do me any good having it sit here. So please come get some food. We're lucky. We haven't had an emergency, for example, like Houston or in Florida or any of these disasters that have wiped us out. We've always got food. We've been lucky.
I just wanted to mention one other organization that's impressed me in recent years, and that is the Reentry Center Gardening Program. I don't know about this place, but I know in Northport, and at the YMCA, they deliver so much food, and I must say that I've taken it. They were giving away so many squash. I have enough to get me through to next spring.
They are very kind to us too, and I can't say enough good things about the Reentry Center on every level. The mentoring, as well as this garden that they put together. We're the beneficiaries of their generosity all summer long.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks so much. You had suggested that I might want to talk to a volunteer, so why don't I do that right now?
Sounds good.
So I understand that Gloria Harrington is one of the people who's been a part of this food pantry for the longest running volunteer, I guess. How long have you been a volunteer here?
Maybe 15 years.
Wow. So how long has the food cupboard been going? Is that since the beginning, or was it
No,
going?
it was gone before I came.
Okay. So what keeps you coming back and helping out?
I like the people. I like being around people.
And have you seen over those 15 years, like, the numbers of people go up and down? Like, it seems to me like right now the unemployment rate is pretty low in Waldo County. Does that mean there's fewer customers, or like, what's your sense of, the people in need in Waldo County?
I think more people are coming now, and there's more people in need.
That is really, I just don't understand it, because everywhere you go, it seems like there's, employment. But I guess a lot of the people who come here aren't necessarily part of the, they're older and retirees and stuff. Do you have any sense of like how it is that there's so many more? Maybe the word's just getting out and more people are not afraid to come here.
I think more people are hard up, and
Yeah.
they need to come.
Sure.
Everything is more expensive.
Yeah, it is. What do you do as a volunteer? Like over the has what you done changed over the years, or you come here just when they give out the food, or what do you do?
I come when they just give it out because there's more people around, and I like to do that. And I do the meat. I
Oh,
give out the meat
okay.
in the bags.
So the meat, is that like all frozen stuff?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a lot of interaction with, like, do you get a chance to talk with the people, or how? Like you said, you like being with people. I know that I volunteer, and there's certain people that I look forward to seeing every month. There's one lady that comes who I know needs, when she gets stuff, she doesn't have a car, and she's always hauling things in a little wagon. And I said, "Oh, do you want a ride?" And now it's I haven't been volunteering for more than a year, but now, like, she knows that she gets a ride with her stuff back to her place. Are there people like that you've become friendly with because you've known them over the years?
Yes, you do become friendly with them. Yes.
What's your favorite part of being part of this? I know you said people, but are there other things?
No, that's my favorite part, the people.
I see.
Yeah.
And if if people are interested in becoming involved, what would you tell them that is, do they have to have certain personality traits, get along well with others, be organized? What are some of the things to be a volunteer that's helpful for them to know?
No, anyone can do it. Yeah.
I would think, from my perspective, being reliable so that
Yeah. Yeah.
so they don't
Most
find
defi-
themselves
most
with no
definitely.
volunteers when the pantry day or
Yeah.
food cupboard day happens. So, by the way, I didn't ask Dave this, and maybe you could tell me. From when to when typically is it open for people to come on? You said it's like every other Friday, right?
Yes.
And from what time typically? When does it
From
open up?
9 until 11:30.
Oh, okay. And is there a time when it's not when it's really busy that you might want to, like, any tips for someone who might want to come that?
I'd come around 10:30.
Okay. And what do you typically? It doesn't take long to go through the paperwork, right? I mean.
Oh
people
no,
need-
it takes less than 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Well, I just want to thank you for doing this for 15 years and hopefully another 15, right?
Thank you. Yes, yes, and
All right.
thank you.
So I hope you've had a chance to see what a wonderful organization we have right here in Belfast. And if you're a person who might want to be a beneficiary of these services, don't hesitate to get in touch.